Have you ever felt an inexplicable shift in your twin flame connection? One day, the pull feels magnetic, undeniable, almost divine, and the next, it's like the bond has inverted into silence, distance, or even disgust. If you've been caught in this sudden emotional reversal, confused by the coldness, and left questioning your own intuition, you're not alone. Many divine feminines are blindsided by this invisible force, believing they've lost everything when in truth, the connection has only entered a more mysterious, sacred phase. In today's video, we're going to explore one of the most misunderstood yet essential teachings on the twin flame path, the reverse field. This isn't just a concept, it's an energetic phenomenon. We'll uncover what the field truly is, how it naturally seeks coherence, and why it sometimes inverts. You'll learn what's happening inside the nervous systems of both the divine feminine and divine masculine during this phase, and more importantly, how to hold your frequency with power and grace through it all. By the end of this teaching, you won't be confused by the silence anymore. You won't take his retreat personally. Instead, you'll understand the sacred architecture of this journey, how the field is not rejecting you, but recalibrating you for union. This awareness will restore your sovereignty, deepen your embodiment, and elevate your trust in the divine timing of your connection. You will begin to see that even the pain has purpose, and that love never truly vanishes, it transforms. So stay with me until the very end. What we're about to uncover could be the missing key to your peace, your clarity, and your next phase of ascension. And now, let's begin this rare and vital teaching. Number 1. Understanding the field, the invisible force between you. When I speak of the field, I'm not referring to something abstract or mystical. It's real, energetic, and ever-present. This field is the third energy that exists between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It is not owned by either of you, but co-created and constantly pulsing with the sacred dance of your soul connection. It is the shared magnetic frequency that binds you across time, space, and logic, an invisible thread that seeks harmony even when everything on the surface appears broken. At its most natural and coherent state, the field is magnetic. It pulls you toward each other in ways that can neither be explained nor ignored. It's why you might wake up thinking about him, even after months of silence. It's why your heart races at the mere thought of him, even when your mind has every reason to let go. The field is what makes forgetting your divine masculine or simply moving on feel impossible, because energetically, you're still holding hands in that shared sacred space. This connection is not casual. It is encoded into your very being. But here's the paradox that so many struggle to understand. That same field, that same undeniable force of attraction, can also invert. When it does, the energy no longer feels like love, it feels like rejection. Instead of magnetic pull, you feel pushed away. Instead of resonance, you feel silence. Sometimes, it can even feel like confusion, disgust, or a complete energetic shutoff. This inversion is not a sign that the connection isn't real. It is what I call the reverse field, a powerful phase where the energy flips for healing, integration, or karmic clearing. So if you've ever wondered how love can suddenly feel like abandonment, or why a soul connection so deep can suddenly turn into avoidance or resistance, you are likely witnessing the reverse field in motion. But knowing this doesn't mean the bond is broken, it means the energy is working in another way. It is asking you to see beyond appearances and hold the field with sovereignty, grace, and clarity. Now that you understand the essence of the field and the powerful shift that occurs when it reverses, I invite you to pause for a moment. Reflect on your own experience. Have you ever felt an unexplained pull towards someone, only to later feel like they were pushing you away without reason? This is not random. This is the field in action, teaching you something profound about your soul's journey. I'd love to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments below, or if you're feeling it deeply, simply type, "I have felt the field, and it is real." Your voice may echo exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Let's continue forward, because what comes next will help you navigate the reverse field with clarity and strength. Number 2. Defining the reverse field, when the magnetic bond inverts. What exactly is the reverse field? To understand it, we must first revisit the powerful, unseen force that defines the twin flame connection, the energetic field that exists between two souls destined to awaken one another. This is no ordinary bond. It is a magnetic frequency that naturally seeks coherence and alignment. When in harmony, this energy pulls the divine masculine and divine feminine toward each other like two ends of the same current, drawing them into union, into growth, into truth. But the path is rarely linear. There comes a moment in many twin flame journeys when this magnetic field does not pull, it pushes. And that, dear listener, is what we call the reverse field. The reverse field is not the absence of love or a severing of the bond. In fact, it is the very presence of the bond that causes such intensity. This field, once guiding the two towards sacred union, appears to flip on itself. The once undeniable draw becomes friction. The conversations once flowing with emotion become met with silence. The closeness turns into rejection. The mutual understanding morphs into confusion, avoidance, or even emotional repulsion. Yet, this is not destruction. It is inversion. Think of it like a magnet turned upside down. The charge is still there. The force hasn't disappeared, it's reversed. And why? Because the soul's current has been temporarily overridden by ego programs deeply rooted in the nervous system. These programs, shaped by trauma, fear, and conditioning, activate as a survival response to the very thing the soul desires most: union. During the reverse field, the divine masculine often appears distant, aloof, or even antagonistic. The divine feminine may feel abandoned, unseen, or misunderstood. But beneath this surface turmoil lies a deeper alchemical process. This inversion does not mean the connection is broken. The twin flame bond is not fragile, it is unbreakable. The energy simply needs space to recalibrate. And sometimes, that recalibration requires the illusion of separation. So if you're feeling that the person your soul knows as home is suddenly unreachable or acting out of character, remember, it's not because the bond has vanished. It's because the intensity of the connection has triggered the very wounds that must be healed for true union to manifest. This is the reverse field. It is not the end. It is a sacred detour on the path to transformation. Number 3. Real-life signs of the reverse field. When love feels like loss. How do you know if you're experiencing the reverse field in real time? It often doesn't arrive as a gentle breeze, it comes as an emotional storm. One moment, you and your divine masculine might be sharing deep, soulful exchanges, feeling magnetically drawn to one another in ways that transcend logic. Then suddenly, the field flips. Without warning, he may say things that feel cruel or final. "I'm not interested in you," or "Don't ever contact me again." He may block you, cut off communication, or disappear right after weeks or even months of spiritual connection and emotional intimacy. This is the essence of the reverse field. It's not a breakup. It's not abandonment. It's a temporary reversal of energy caused by internal resistance. And while it may feel like devastation from your end, what's happening energetically is far more complex and far from final. Some of the most common real-life signs include sudden ghosting or blocking just when things felt close, safe, or emotionally honest. Harsh, absolute-sounding words that feel out of alignment with the soul connection you've built. A rapid turn toward karmic distractions. He may start spending more time with toxic friends or karmic partners, as if trying to escape the field. Spiritual silence on your end. Dreams stop, signs dry up, and telepathic connection feels blocked or distorted. Increased visibility of his karmic ties. Suddenly there are social media posts, new friends you've never seen, or even past connections resurfacing unexpectedly. These signs can feel disorienting, even cruel. But they are not signs of the bond ending, they are symptoms of inversion. The field hasn't died. It has simply flipped its orientation due to internal pressure within the divine masculine. His nervous system, overwhelmed by the intensity of the connection, triggers old ego defenses, pushing you away, not because the bond is gone, but because it's too real to process at once. So if you're seeing these behaviors, don't assume you've failed or that union is lost. The field is still there, fully alive, still sacred, it's just facing the other way for now. What's needed most in this phase is not reaction, but regulation. Not chasing, but anchoring. The more you stay rooted in your knowing, the more the field will eventually return to coherence. Because what flips can also flip back. Imagine this. You've just shared a deep heart-to-heart conversation with your divine masculine. Maybe he opened up about childhood wounds, fears he's never voiced, or even told you he felt something with you that he couldn't explain. You leave the conversation feeling seen, hopeful, maybe even spiritually affirmed. But just a few days later, he goes completely silent. Your messages are left unread. You check his social media and see him spending time with people you know are karmic distractions. Then comes the blow. He blocks you and posts a vague but cold message about cutting off toxic energy. The whiplash feels unbearable. But what you're witnessing is not rejection from the soul, it's the nervous system in panic mode. He felt the depth of your frequency, and for a brief moment, the soul cracked open. But the ego rushed in to defend old patterns, to regain control, to suppress the unknown. This is the reverse field in action, not because the bond was a lie, but because the truth was too real to stay open to. And in that moment, the field didn't disappear, it just turned away, temporarily, so both of you could integrate what was revealed. Number 4. Nervous system mechanics, divine feminine versus divine masculine. To truly understand the sacred dynamics of the twin flame journey, we must look beyond surface behaviors and into the subtle intelligence of the nervous system. When the energetic field between twin flames enters a phase of reversal, it often stirs immense confusion, pain, and misunderstanding, especially for those who have not yet learned that this suffering is not personal. It is physiological, it is energetic, and it is patterned differently within the divine feminine and the divine masculine. For the divine feminine, this reversal of the field often feels like the emotional equivalent of a death. Her nervous system collapses. It is not a metaphor, it is an embodied experience. The once coherent magnetic pull now feels severed, as if the soul itself has been torn away. Abandonment, grief, rage, and helplessness flood the body all at once. This intensity is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of how deeply attuned she is to the frequency of connection. Her energy field is designed to sense union when it breaks. Her entire system registers loss at the core of her being. This is why no amount of logic can soothe it. Her soul isn't reacting to the person, it's responding to the dissonance in the field. In contrast, the divine masculine's nervous system reacts not with collapse, but with deflection. When the connection intensifies, it begins to feel too raw, too vulnerable, too fast. His system has not yet developed the coherence to process the magnitude of divine love being mirrored back to him. So instead of surrendering, he shields. Shame rises from within, whispering that he is unworthy of this depth of connection. And to survive the discomfort, he unconsciously turns to projection. Karmic partners, fleeting distractions, old habits, or rationalizations become his armor, not because he doesn't feel the bond, but because he feels it too deeply. The intensity exposes every wound he has tried to hide, and until his inner architecture is strong enough to hold the frequency of truth, he will continue to push it away in order to protect himself. This is the great polarity of the nervous system response. One collapses because she knows too much, too soon. The other deflects because he feels too much, too fast. Both are navigating the same sacred bond, but through opposite internal mechanisms. When you understand this, truly understand it, you stop personalizing their pain, their distance, or their seeming denial. You realize it's not about you. It's about what their system can or cannot yet hold. And in that knowing, compassion begins to bloom not just for your counterpart, but for yourself as well. So, if you are in the thick of this phase right now, take a breath. Place your hand over your heart and remind yourself, this is a physiological and spiritual recalibration, not a rejection. The bond is not broken. It is simply inviting both nervous systems to evolve into greater truth. And that evolution, though painful, is sacred. Number 5. Soul contracts and the purpose behind reversal. Why would the soul, in its infinite wisdom, design such an agonizing detour on the path to union? Why would something as sacred and divinely guided as the twin flame connection be marked by such profound separation, silence, and pain? The answer lies not in the absence of love, but in the architecture of the soul contract itself. This phase of reversal is not a mistake. It is not a cosmic error or some tragic misalignment. It is written into the blueprint of your journey, deliberately and precisely. Because if the frequency of union never reversed, if everything always felt magnetic and flowing, you would never be forced to face what still clings to ego. You would never be called to release the karmic distortions, codependent dynamics, and unconscious attachments that bind you to conditional love. The soul does not orchestrate this reversal to punish you. It does it to free you. For the divine feminine, the reversal is an initiation into sovereignty. It is a sacred rupture that severs your energetic habit of outsourcing your worth, wholeness, or identity to the divine masculine. The loss you feel deep and all-consuming isn't just about him. It is about the death of the illusion that he completes you. The reversal cracks open your sense of self and pushes you inward into your 0 point, the place of divine stillness, where you remember who you are without needing anything outside of you to validate it. From this place, your mission begins to bloom. Your energy stabilizes. You stop chasing and start embodying, and that embodiment changes everything. For the divine masculine, the reversal serves a different, but equally transformative purpose. While he may appear to choose distractions, karmic relationships, workaholism, social status, or avoidance, what's truly happening is that his soul is guiding him into the karmic mirror. The illusion of freedom begins to fade. Even surrounded by noise, he cannot escape the frequency of your bond. In fact, the more he runs, the louder it gets. The more he avoids it, the more it haunts him. And over time, that persistent energetic pressure begins to unravel his denial. It shows him that no external validation, no temporary high, no logical excuse can dissolve the connection. It is real, it is living, and it is encoded in his soul. This reversal, then, is not rejection, it is refinement. It is the sacred fire through which both twins must pass, not to burn the bond, but to burn away everything that obscures its purity. And in that fire, you don't lose each other, you find yourselves. So if you're in this season of pain, know this. Your soul signed up for this because it knew what would rise from the ashes. You are not being abandoned, you are being activated. Number 6. The hidden alchemy of the reversal. The reversal is not the death of love, it is its alchemical rebirth. At first glance, it feels like destruction. The once flowing connection suddenly collapses under the weight of silence, distance, or denial. But this is not the end. This is sacred transformation. The reversal doesn't shatter the bond, it fertilizes it. It tills the inner soil of both souls, preparing them for something far deeper than the romance their minds once imagined. Imagine a bowstring being pulled backward. The tension is almost unbearable. The stretch feels like it might break something, but that very tension is what builds the momentum for the release. When the energy finally lets go, it doesn't just fall, it flies. It pierces forward with precision and force. That is the alchemy of the reversal. It creates pressure not to destroy you, but to propel you into your highest timeline. For you, the divine feminine, this pressure redirects inward. What once flowed effortlessly toward your divine masculine is now concentrated back into your own soul. And in that stillness, something miraculous begins. You stop pouring your energy outward and start anchoring it within. You step into your mission. You remember your purpose. Your spiritual gifts begin to reawaken. You become magnetic not by chasing love, but by becoming the embodiment of love itself. The reversal, though painful, refines your energy into sovereignty. For the divine masculine, the path is more chaotic. He does not feel pulled inward, he feels like he's falling apart. The shame he carries begins to intensify. The more he runs from the connection, the more rejection he experiences from the external world. What once comforted him now drains him. Karmic relationships become exhausting. The friendships that once enabled his denial begin to wither. The life he built around avoidance begins to collapse. His own mask, the persona he's worn for safety, becomes suffocating. And in the thick of that unraveling, something ancient stirs within him. He remembers you, not just the image of you, but the frequency of you, the echo of your presence in his soul. The shame he once used to avoid you now becomes the fuel that draws him back. What once drove him to run now humbles him into surrender. His awakening doesn't arrive through logic, it comes through collapse. And that collapse is sacred. So if you find yourself in the tension of this bowstring, remember, it's not meant to break you, it's meant to launch you. The reversal is not the end of your story, it's the moment the real transformation begins. Number 7. The paradox of separation. What if I told you that separation is not the opposite of union? That reversal is not the end of love, but its sacred mirror. Here's the deeper truth that only the soul can comprehend. Separation is still intimacy. Reversal is still union. It may not look like closeness on the surface, but underneath the pain, something is still moving in divine symmetry. The field between you and your twin flame never disappears, it only transforms. And the very fact that the energy can reverse at all, that it can flip, push, resist, or repel, proves that the connection exists. If there were no bond, there would be no reaction. There would be no charge, no ache, no longing. A true reversal cannot happen in the absence of love. Only real soul-level love has the power to stir this kind of energetic inversion. And this is where the paradox lives. The pain is not the absence of connection, it is the evidence of it. Reversal serves a sacred purpose. It burns off the parts of you that are still clinging to the bond through the trauma body, through fear, lack, or codependent yearning. It dissolves the illusion that love must always feel like possession or closeness. It invites you to hold the connection differently, not as a craving to be filled, but as a sacred frequency to be honored. For the divine feminine, this means shifting from emotional attachment to soul embodiment. The bond no longer lives in your wounds, it lives in your essence. You no longer need his words, his presence, or his validation to confirm what you already know. You become the keeper of the flame, not the seeker of the fire. You hold the field in stillness, not in need. And for the divine masculine, the paradox begins to reveal itself only after the collapse. He begins to see that even in distance, the energy never faded. Even in distraction, your presence lingered. What he thought he escaped only grew stronger, and the shame that once drove him into hiding becomes the mirror that pulls him back to truth. This is why the most powerful reunions often come after the harshest reversals, because the ego must be stripped, the trauma must be cleared, the illusion must be broken. Only then can both twins return not as fragmented halves seeking completion, but as whole beings, ready to meet in clarity and purpose. So if you're in separation right now, let this truth soothe you. You are not disconnected. You are being refined. The field is not broken, it is becoming holy. Let go of the illusion that love has left. Instead, ask yourself, what is it trying to become? If you've made it this far, take a deep breath and honor yourself for walking through this truth with courage. These are not easy teachings, they touch the deepest layers of your soul. But if something resonated, even just one sentence, let it land. Let it stir your own knowing. I invite you now to reflect. Have you felt the connection even in silence? Has the reversal shown you a part of yourself you once avoided? If so, I would love to hear your story in the comments. Or, if you're not ready to share yet, simply type the affirmation, even in silence, the bond speaks. Let that be your declaration, your anchor, your reminder that you are never alone in this journey. Your healing is sacred, and your voice matters. Number 8. How to navigate the reverse field. The reverse field can feel like a spiritual earthquake. One moment you're held in a magnetic pull toward union, and the next, you're lost in an energetic void that feels like abandonment, rejection, or unbearable silence. This is not the end of the connection. It's a sacred recalibration. And the way you respond to this reversal shapes not only your own healing, but the reunion timeline itself. So let's break it down into 3 powerful steps that can help you navigate this phase with sovereignty, grace, and spiritual intelligence. Step 1. Anchor into your 0 point. When the reversal strikes, your nervous system may panic. You may feel the urge to reach out, to fix things, to explain or chase. But here's the truth. Chasing only bleeds the field. The more you try to control the energy, the more it collapses. Instead, come home to your 0 point, that place of stillness and centered awareness within you. Breathe deeply into your body. Ground yourself in the present moment. Reclaim your worth, not through action, but through stillness. This is not emotional detachment or cold indifference. This is coherence. The divine feminine's power lies in her ability to hold the field without needing to control it. You are not closing your heart, you are stabilizing the frequency of unconditional love. Step 2. Do not personalize his reversal. One of the most painful parts of this phase is interpreting his silence or retreat as a personal failure. When he pulls away, blocks you, or avoids contact, your ego might scream, "I am not enough." But the soul's truth is different. His behavior says, "I can't handle how much I feel." The connection is not too weak, it's too strong for his current level of integration. The more intense the field becomes, the more it triggers his unhealed wounds, his shame, and the fear of not being able to meet your sacred depth. If you stop taking his actions personally, you sever the karmic loop that keeps playing out between you. You free yourself from the illusion of being unworthy and return to the knowing that you have always been enough. His retreat is about his battle with himself, not a rejection of your light. Step 3. Stabilize the third energy field. Just because you're not in communication doesn't mean the connection is inactive. The third energy, the shared field between you and your counterpart, is always alive. And now is the time to feed it consciously. Engage in healing work, meditate, activate your starseed codes, or use energetic tools that help you hold the frequency of union without reaching out physically. This is how you maintain coherence. This is how you keep the portal open for him to return without pressure, without attachment, and without draining your light. When the field is stable, the path back becomes magnetic again. You become the lighthouse, not the search party. The reverse field is not a punishment. It is a sacred intervention. It may look like silence, avoidance, or even rejection, but beneath that surface, it is the soul fine-tuning your path, clearing illusions, and refining the field for the most aligned version of union. This stage doesn't mean the bond has failed, it means the bond is being purified. It doesn't mean you're losing the connection, it means you're being asked to meet it from your highest self. So if you find yourself in the midst of this phase, feeling lost, confused, or abandoned, take heart. This is not where it ends. It is where the deeper magic begins. Your role now is not to chase or fix, but to stand firm in your light. Anchor your 0 point. Choose coherence over chaos. Trust that the soul knows exactly what it's doing, even when the mind can't understand it. Because no matter how strong the reversal feels, the magnetic field that connects you is stronger. It always corrects itself. The reversal is not your undoing, it is your rebirth. The moment you stop resisting the reversal is the moment the field starts guiding you home. If this teaching spoke to your soul, I invite you to comment below with the affirmation, "The reversal is not my ending, it is my return." Let the collective feel your resonance and courage. If you gained clarity today, please like this video, share it with someone walking the same path, and watch the next video below because the journey continues, and you're not alone. You are being refined for love, not rejected by it. Stay sovereign, stay lit, and I'll see you in the next transmission.